Have you seen my new app? It's an X-ray app. It's brilliant. Wait till you see it. I'll show you. How cool is that? Brilliant, isn't it? Oh my. Hello and welcome. I'm John and this is Fun with Filmora.
Lights, camera, action!
Let's have some fun. In today's video, I'll show you a cool way to make an X-ray effect using Filmora 11. Okay, the first thing we need to do is to create a new project. So when you open Filmora, you'll be presented with this screen. Click on New Project. We now need to import the clips we're going to use in the video. So click here. Choose your clips to import and click Open. I've imported the main video, a static image of a skeleton hand, a static image of the sofa, and a static image of the X-ray app that I created. So I have 4 clips. I'm going to create 4 video tracks. And to do this, we click on the plus sign over on the left and add video track. And I'll do this 2 more times so that I have 4 video tracks in total. I'll now place the clips onto the timeline approximately where I think they're all going to line up. And you do this by simply click, hold, and drag it onto the timeline. I'm now just going to make the timeline full width by clicking here so that I can see all the clips all together and I can work with them better. I'm now going to scrub through the main video footage just to see where I actually need it to start, because there's a lot of waste on there that I don't actually need. So I know that the video won't actually start till somewhere about here. So I'll click on the clip, I'll cut the timeline there, and I will delete this part of the timeline that's not required by pressing the delete key on your keyboard. I'll drag this main video to the beginning, and I'll do the same with the end of the video. I shall chop off anything that I don't need. So it finishes when I look back at the camera about there. So again, highlight your clip, click on the scissors, highlight the last part we don't need, and delete it by pressing the delete key on your keyboard. I'm now going to spread out the timeline again so I can see all the clips in the one window. I'm going to hide the top track at the moment by clicking on the eye so that we can't see it, and I need to scroll along until we see the green screen pop up on my phone. About there. And I'll make a cut in the video by highlighting the video by clicking on it and clicking on cut. I'm now going to drag the skeleton hand image and match it up with the timeline, and also stretch it out by putting your mouse over the end, clicking, holding and dragging it out till approximately the screen disappears, which will be about there for now. We do that so when we get rid of the green screen on the phone, we'll be able to see the hand underneath. To remove the green screen on the phone, we double click the video, we go down to chroma key on the left hand side and place a tick in chroma key. And then what I like to do is click on the little eyedropper and go across and click on the actual green, because it picks up that exact green screen. I also make the offset 100%, and now you'll see as I move the timeline across, although the hand is not the right size at the moment, you can see the hand underneath with a black background. Now I don't want to be able to see the hand just yet. I want you to be able to see the hand when I hold the phone up to my hand, so approximately there. click on the hand image and shrink it down to where the playhead is. We now need to resize the hand and move it to approximately the right location. To do that, we double click on the hand clip. We go to transform, and this is where the options you have to scale the hand. Now it's going off screen purely because it's scaled, and then we can move it to the right by using the position X and click and dragging across, and you see the hand come in more. Scale it down again. We want to use this scale because it keeps X and Y exactly the same. You can do them individually, but it'll elongate it or make it wider, which we don't want to do. To make the hand easier to see and to match up with my own hand, what I'll do is I'll click the bottom layer, which is just a still image, and drag it right away across the full length of the timeline, and then you can see the carpet behind now, but the hand is black. You can get rid of that black by going to Effects and search for Remove Black BG. Drag and drop that onto the clip. You'll see that the black background has now disappeared, which makes it easier to shrink it down and match up with my hand. So I'm now going to play around again with the settings to make it smaller and move it across to where my hand is actually situated. So again, we double click on the hand clip, go to transform and change the scale and the X and the Y settings until it looks correct. So now when I scrub through backwards and forwards, you can see that it looks a bit like my hand in the background. Clever, eh? And now I want to work on the first sequence where I lift the phone up from my hand. Because you can see through the phone because it's a green screen, I need to put a black background there just in front of the hand. So if we go to Media, Sample Color, and drag the black colour onto the timeline just before the hand, you'll see that a black screen now appears as I scroll across. I did this to make it look like the app was starting up, but I don't want the actual app image to start until I get to maybe about there. What I need to do now is grab the app image on the top, drag it across so it sits on top, unhide it so we can see it, and I need to shrink this down so it fits within the phone screen. I do this by double tapping on the actual app image, and again I can scale and move across by doing position X, takes it to the right, and again scale down, and keep doing this until you think it's about right. That looks about right. Now I only want this on for a very short period as if the app is kicking in. Don't worry about it being lined up at the moment. What I'm going to do is go across to where the hand is first seen, and I will shrink the app image down to there. So now when you scroll across, it will go from the app to the hand, but again, don't worry about the positioning just yet. I'm going to use motion tracking, which allows this image to follow the path of the phone when it moves slightly. We need to first hide the top image so that we can see the motion tracking in action. Double click on the video below. We need to activate motion tracking and move the square over to the center of the phone, and then shrink it down. That's the point we wish to motion track, and that's the point that the image will follow with the phone. Once you're happy with that, click on Start Tracking. It'll happen very quickly because the phone doesn't move much. What we can do now, because it's done a motion track, is choose from the drop down box the X-ray app, which is this one here, and I will unhide it. And to show the motion tracking in action now, click on play. And now that the motion tracking is set up, for a split second you'll see the X-ray app image follow the path of the phone, and that's what we want. It just makes it look as if the app is kicking in after you press the button and lifted it up to your hand. So what we need to do now is move to the part of the clip where we take the phone away to reveal the skeleton hand, which is approximately there. It starts to drop. We now right click on the hand image and choose copy. We then put the playhead where we want the new image to fall above this track, and we click on that track to activate it. We're in the right place, and we now do paste. So right click and paste. Obviously I don't need this clip to be that long, so I can trim it down by clicking and dragging across until it matches up with the end of my clip. As we scroll back now, you'll see that the hand is approximately where mine is, but maybe a bit bigger. What we need to do now is get rid of my hand in the background, and the way we do that is by using a mask. So what we need to do is place a cut mark, because we only want the mask to appear on this part of the video. Then we double click on that video and we go to mask. I'm going to choose a rectangle, so if you click on that, you'll see a mask has appeared. Now we need to invert this mask because we don't want to see that part of the video, we want to see the other part, the invert part. Click on that, and we can now move the mask across and place it over my hand. But we also need to see some of my arm, and also we need to see the rest of the floor. So we shrink it down by dragging the edges across, back and forth, moving up and down until it's in approximately the right position for where my hand would be. That doesn't look too bad. One more thing we need to do is we need to make sure that this track ends with the other track, so we do that simply by click and dragging the end and matching it up there. So we just have the one hand as the phone moves away. We now want the skeleton hand to follow my arm, and we can't use motion tracking for this because it has a mask on it. So we will have to use animation and keyframes. This can be a bit tedious, but it is worth the effort. I'll do the first one and then I'll speed it up until we've got them all in approximately the right place. To do animation and keyframes, we double click on the hand clip. We go to animation and make sure we're in the customize tab at the top. We add our first key animation there, and then we move the timeline along until my hand starts to move, and then we can move the hand up and down, in and out accordingly. So I'll move it down a little bit there, and I'll rotate it slightly to follow my arm, and move it down a bit more, and I'll carry on doing this until the end of the sequence. So like I said, tedious job but well worth the effort. Now as we scroll back and play the clip, you see the hand moves with my arm. So the last couple of things to do is to take out one of the words and replace it with a censored sign over my lips and a beep. What we need to do is click on this clip and split the audio away from this track. So we right click, go to detach audio, and that then places the audio from that clip in a separate timeline. I'm going to create a new audio track, and I'll just move down so we can see that new track, and I want to place the audio I've just detached in the bottom track because I want to place a beep in the track above it. We get the beep sound if we go to audio, sound effect, and simply type in the word beep. That's the one we want. You can listen to it by clicking on it once and you can hear it. I want to use that, and I want to drag it down to where I think approximately on the timeline above where I want it to go. Now let's test that. Right, so that's not in the right place. I want it to go over the word God. So drag it across there. I can see there. That must be where I'm saying the word God. So let's try that again. That's not far off. So I'll just zoom in a bit. And I'm going to split the timeline where I think I say the word God. That's oh my God. So if I click on the audio, split it there, go past that and split it again, I'm just going to mute that track now by dragging the volume right the way down so you can't hear it anymore. The beep needs to be moved across, so we click and hold and drag it across a little bit to the start of where I should say God. Now when we play it, the beep should be in the right place. Yeah, that's fine. I'm going to drag the playhead back to where the beep starts because I want to put a text censor sign on my lips above that. We need to create a new video track and go to titles. Search for default title. And drag that onto the timeline above the hand clip where the playhead is situated at the moment. It obviously doesn't need to be that long, so we can shrink that down to tie in and be the same size as approximately the beep sound. So before we change the actual text, let's just make sure it kicks in and out as it should do when the beep starts to make a sound. Yep, that's fine. We're now going to edit the title. Put your playhead over it, double click, and then change the word to censored. Probably look better all in capitals. We now want to go to advanced. Move that across so we can see what we're doing. This is the size of the font. That's too big. Still too big. Maybe a little bit smaller, 24 maybe, that's fine. I want the actual colour of the font to stay white, but I want an outline around the font. So I choose the drop down box and go to more, and I'll choose red there. Click on OK. That looks fine. We now need to position the censored word, and we can do that easily by clicking and holding, dragging it to where my mouth is, and you can also rotate it by using the little dot at the top and clicking and dragging until you feel it's in the right place. That looks about right. Click on OK when you're happy with it. That will update your video. So let's take that back to the beginning. I'll click on this so we can see all of the video on the timeline. I'll take it right back to the very start, play it through, see how it looks.
Have you seen my new app? It's an X-ray app. It's brilliant. Wait till you see it. I'll show you. How cool is that? Brilliant, isn't it? Oh my!
And that's it. If you haven't already downloaded Filmora, you can do so by clicking in the link in the description below, and you get a 7-day free membership to all the effects. So why not give it a go? I hope you enjoyed my video, and I would really appreciate it if you click on like, subscribe and the notification bell. It will help grow my channel. Thanks for watching. Now go have some fun.